Hello, today we're going to be talking about how to add ambiance to our VCV rack patches and how this technique can be used to add changes to your patches for the purposes of modulation or for performance. So let's dive into it. So what I have set up here is a basic sequencer patch with our clock running our ADSR and our sequencer. And our VCO is taking control voltage from the sequencer and sending its output to the VCA and out to the mixer. So with no effects on it, let's hear how that sounds. And the first thing that I'm going to do to make this a little bit more interesting is use our random note button on our grid sequencer to generate random notes, and now we have an arpeggio. So now, the next thing that we're going to be doing to turn this arpeggio into an ambient sound is we're going to be sending it through some effects. So before we send it to our output, we're going to be sending our VCA to another VCA and then to Corona Blob. And it's important to use a VCA to bring down your input voltage to Corona Blob so that these two lights are flashing white rather than red. It keeps it from overloading and it sounds a lot more pleasant. We're then going to send it through the spring reverb and then finally to our mixer. We're going to turn this all the way to dry for now just so that you can still hear our arpeggio. So now what I'm going to do to introduce just a little bit more harmonically interesting changes is I'm going to take my down direction from my grid sequencer, I'm going to plug it into my clock 2, and what this is going to do is it's going to send this sequencer down throughout each of the rows. And I'm just going to bring down my clock so that it can be sending through slower, and it's staying on a chord and then changing to the next chord. And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to add our delay in, we're going to add our reverb in, and we're going to completely wash it out. Now what I like to do is add more to the patch on top of this, have this kind of be a background sound, and then a very cool effect that you can add in is taking away the reverb and the delay, or maybe just adding delay in and having it pop out of that background sound. And of course one of the places that we can go from here is adding modulation. So I'm going to be adding an LFO. We'll be using the 8FO from Log Audio. And I'm just going to send the wave to our wet and dry control voltages. I'm going to set our LFO to slow, slow it down a little bit more. And this is going to give us some organic change in the texture of this ambient sound that we have here. I really like using this technique in almost all of my patches. I feel like it adds a very solid base and background to build off of. I hope that you'll give it a try, and good luck and happy patching. Bye everybody.